Hey Tom,
No.
um, it's just a curiosity question, really. I kept not wanting to ask it, but it kept coming back. It's in relation to this "I am not the body" feeling, and I'm wondering. And you've often said um, that in the world we just do what we have to do, and yeah, and I'm wondering, when you do what you have to do you all the time not feel that you are a body? You're not identified as a body mind when you're doing what you need to do in the world.
You're asking me, right, Hester?
Yeah. I don't know if it's impertinent to ask, but
Oh, gosh, no, of course not.
okay.
Of course not. I don't think it is. I think it's pertinent to ask. So, who am I? Who are you asking? Are you asking Tom, the body mind? You see? Go on, Hester.
Is there no Tom body mind?
So, if there's no Tom, I'm not saying there is or isn't for now, but if there's no Tom body mind, who are you asking? Or are you asking Tom, the body mind? I'm, I know I'm not trying to be clever, I'm not trying to get out of the question. I'm just pointing out Tom. If we say Tom exists, and he doesn't, but if we say Tom exists, then Tom does feel like a doer. Tom is a doer because Tom's the body mind. The body mind is the doer and the enjoyer, as we've established or discussed earlier. Yeah. Tom, the body mind entity known as Tom, is a doer and an enjoyer. Tom
But he doesn't exist.
initiates actions and receives the fruits of actions. Yeah, carries out, maybe not initiates, you could say, but carries out actions. That's the doer. Well, that's another point, actually, from Suresh's question about doer. Doer often is thought to be the entity that initiates actions. But the doer is just the entity that carries out actions. Even if you're not initiating them, you're still a doer if you're just carrying them out. Even if you don't feel like they're your actions, if you're doing them, you're the doer. You're the doer of the action. So some people say, I don't feel like I'm the doer. Actions are just happening through me. Well, that means you're the doer because you're still doing them. Like you're still playing tennis. Even if you don't feel like you're doing playing tennis, you are still playing tennis. So you're still the doer. So the body mind is never liberated. There's no liberation for a body mind entity. You must know that you are not a body mind entity. I am not a body mind entity. What I am is that, the self, the formless self that has no relationship whatsoever with the body, mind, or world, appearances, maya, illusion, dream. That's what you are too. The idea that Tom, a body, mind entity, could be realized is laughable. Or if we don't want to be that cruel, we could say it's the idea that Tom as a body mind entity is liberated is not true, is not possible. Because how can a body mind entity be eternal? Cannot. Body mind entity is born a certain time, place, and will die at a certain time, place, and will experience pleasure and pain between those two events, right? And then there's a sense that, oh, well, maybe there's some kind of, I don't know, like light or light bulb inside of Tom's body. Maybe that's liberated, and that kind of that spirit or soul, will survive death. And maybe there's one inside of Hester as well. Maybe there's some sort of light or spirit or sprite inside of Hester. And maybe each of us here have a light. This is a body-based notion of spirituality, which is beautiful, actually. But it doesn't go all the way. When you go all the way and discover that sprite inside of you, you discover it is the only reality, and there is no separation from that. And there's nothing apart from that. That is what I am, and that is what you are. And then there'll be no talk of Tom or Hester or this kind of stuff. Just like typically when you wake from a dream, you're no longer talking about the dream characters that you forgot about. Of course, sometimes you may talk about a dream, but I'm just giving that as an analogy. So to answer your question more directly, I don't even have any sense I'm Tom. Not only do I not even have any sense I'm Tom, I do not even have any sense of Tom. I don't have any sense of Hester. Put it poetically, in the way Tom likes to put it, there is only Bhagavan for me. But even that expression is because of Tom's conditioning. So there is only Bhagavan for me. It's the way I like to put it. I think when you come to this through the path of bhakti, then this is the way it expresses itself. At least that's the way it expresses itself for Tom, for me. Does that answer the question?
Well, what it makes very clear to me is it's not the body-mind that is looking for the end of the body-mind. It's a total different dimension.
Wow. It is the body-mind that's looking for the end of the self.
Yeah. Okay.
But what the body-mind is looking for is not to be found in the body, mind, or world.
Okay.
Do you see? It is the body-mind that's looking for liberation. But when you discover the truth of the body-mind, you'll discover your true self. It's confusing because part of the teaching says that what you truly are is not the body or mind. But actually, if you take yourself to be the body mind, which is ignorance, and then you go into the source of that, you'll discover that what the body mind truly is the self. That's the key. The key is to discover the source or the truth, the substratum, the subject, the reality that underpins it all. When you discover the reality in its fullness, then that's done. We don't have to talk about the nature of that reality. We just have to discover it. The guru or the teacher is just an apparition sent forth by yourself, for yourself. So you go back to yourself. It's not really something outside of you, although the guru or teacher appears to be outside of you. Teachers come in all shapes and forms, all shapes and sizes. Bhagavan tells a story a bit like this. He says, one of his teachings was like this. He said, first we suffer. I might be adding a few steps here I might be inserting some extra steps to what he said. First we suffer, and then because we suffer, we desire happiness, we desire freedom. And when we desire freedom, eventually we're blessed with faith in God. And then when we pray to God for long enough, with sincerity, God manifests a guru to us, a teacher, in human form, let's say. May not be in human form. Let's just say in human form. Keep it simple. And then we go and listen to that teacher. We think the teacher is realized and has got something we haven't got. We think the teacher is a realized human being, let's say. We listen to the teacher. The teacher tells us to go in within. We're going to the teacher. Teacher tells us to go within ourselves, back to ourselves, discover who we are. We go within through the grace of Guru, grace of the teacher, grace of God. We go within, discover ourselves. And then we discover there is only that which I am. This is the story. We wake up, we discover it never happened. It was the son of a barren woman. As Gaudapada puts it. It's Maya. Maya never happened. You can find the commentary on tomdas.com. Probably if you search for son of a barren woman or something like that, one of those words, you'll find that I think in the version I put on tomdas.com, it will use those words. So you can, I haven't checked, so maybe I'm wrong, but you can see the verses. It's interesting to read it in print. But while it seems to be happening, while there seems to be duality, then we should cling to the teaching, cling to the guru, which is the true teaching. Bhagavan Ramana is the true teaching. Cling to him, cling to his teachings. The light is like the life raft, lifeboat that takes us home. We cling to it with dear life, takes us home. There's a I hope I get this analogy right. There's an analogy of a kitten and a monkey. Has anyone heard Bhagavan talk about a kitten and a monkey? I wonder if it's in Guru. It might be in Guru Vajrayana. Let me do a search. Ah, it is. It's verse 696. You don't have to look at it now. But there's a metaphor of a kitten and a monkey. You see, A kitten is carried. Have you seen the kitten? They get carried by the nape of their neck. The mother will carry a kitten by the nape of the neck, pick them up, and ferry the kitten around. The kitten just hanging like this, just getting moved around. Yeah. This represents the natural state of what would you call it? I've forgotten the word. Sahaja samadhi. Natural state. Everything is just happening. You don't have to do anything. You're like a kitten being moved around by God, right? And then there's the monkey. Now, if you're a young monkey, a child monkey, you have to cling to your mother. You have to cling onto them for dear life. The mother's running around the place, doing parkour or something in an Indian urban environment, and you're the baby, you're just like clinging on to, you see these monkeys running around, there's the baby like underneath, just clinging on. Yeah. So the idea is the spiritual seeker who's trying to do self-inquiry is like this monkey. Yeah. You're struggling to cling on to what? The source. Your mother is your source, right? The self. Mother represents the source. You're struggling to cling on like a monkey. Yeah, this is the struggle of sadhana. But eventually, if you struggle like a monkey for long enough, you become like a kitten, where you are relaxed. You look like you haven't got a care in the world. Just God is ferrying you around. The source is flowing through you. The source is moving you, right? Like a kitten. Now, let's read this verse now, having understood that. Um, 696, Guru Vajrayakovai. Those who, in this very birth, and with no effort on their part, by force of grace divine, attain desire-free awareness pure, may look like passive kittens now, but in a former birth, they were young monkeys, clinging hard to mother. The idea here is that Bhagavan Ramana, he had an effortless journey to liberation. And the idea is, when you see these jnanis who just effortlessly attain liberation, know that in a previous life, they were like the young monkeys clinging hard to their mother. Means they had to do the sadhana too. Another way of thinking of it is when you see the liberated being who seems to be so at ease and free and happy, know that that person had to also do the self-inquiry, had to also struggle in their sadhana. So you have to be like a monkey first, a young monkey, before you can be like a kitten.